What's up, everybody? Sharx here, and today I'm gonna deck profile my Shark deck. So I feel like this deck has been long overdue, because it is my name, and this is the deck I've actually seen the most success with. So I'll just kind of show you guys what I run in my Shark deck, and see how, and just show you guys how the combos work. So you do run 3 Buzzsaw and 3 Lantern. These cards are really good because Lantern will special summon them fish level 4, 3, 4, or 5 water monster from hand, and then that kind of gets your rank 4s going. Buzzsaw just special summons a fish from deck targeting another fish, and then that kind of gets your rank 4s going as well. Then Silent Angler, basically just an extender. If you control water, you can just special summon it, but you cannot special summon from the hand for the rest of the turn, so this is like the last thing you want to special summon from hand. But again, it's just another extender, so why not run it at 3? Silent Sea Nettle is kind of the same effect as the Silent Angler. You could not special summon if you control water, but if you do, you're locked into waters for the rest of this turn. So that does kind of hurt the deck a little bit, but not too much. 3 Xyz or more. This card is basically the MVP of the deck. If you control an Xyz monsters, you can detach 2. It doesn't have to be from the same Xyz monster. It can be from any Xyz monster. So you can detach 2 materials, special summon it, and then when it's special summon, you can target 2 fish in the grave and special summon both. So that gets you 3 level 4 monsters on the board, and kind of get your Xyz plays going even more. White Stingray. So I like running White Stingray because he's just another kind of extender. You can discard got 1 water monster. You can special summon White Stingray. You can, if your hand is like, if you need 1 more level 4 monster on the board, you can just discard a monster, special summon it, and there you go. And he has a second effect where if you special summon from the graveyard, he becomes level 4 tuner, but that doesn't really matter because Buzzsaw and Lantern lock you into Xyz for the rest of this turn, so it doesn't really come up. And then you run 3 Tanny Spirit Chintana. So this card is like really good if you open it. If you control no effect monsters, just special summon it, and that's just another level 4 water monster on the board. Just another extender. So this whole deck is just kind of just extenders, rank 4 XE spam. And then for the 1-ofs, we won 1 Right Hand Shark and 1 Lightless Leaf Fish. The Lifeless Leaf Fish, if you summon, you can send a fish to the graveyard. It's not that important, but the second effect is you can target 3 fish monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them to the deck, then draw 1 card. So that effect does kind of help every once in a while. Plus, I do like the artwork of it, that's why I run it. And then Right Hand Shark, he's actually really good. So if you control, let's see, if this card's in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. But that doesn't count. So if you detach it, it still goes to the graveyard. It doesn't be banished. So you can just kind of keep special summoning it every single turn. And then if a card is has this card as material, let's say Bahamut Shark has this card as material, it cannot be destroyed by battle. So really good. Really like the Right Hand Shark. So that's all for the main deck fish. There's a bunch of 3-ofs. Again, they're all kind of extenders, just to get your Xyz plays going, because this deck does rely on the extra deck heavy. For the hand traps, I only run 2 Ash Blossom. I would run 3, but I like to run 2 of this, and then 1 Dark Ruler, just in case I go second, and Ash Blossom is not enough. But you can take this out for whatever hand trap you want, but I like Ash Blossom. Then for the spells, run 2 White Mirror. So White Mirror is really good. You can target a level 4 lower fish in the grave, special summon it, and then you can add another copy of it to your hand. So let's say you have Buzzsaw in the grave. You can activate it, target, special, and then search another copy to your hand. And the effect is not negated either, so you can still use the effect of Buzzsaw to target itself, special summon a level 4 fish from the deck. The White Mirror is really good. The only downside about it is a once per turn, so you can only use 1. Then I do run the instant and ready fusion package. Again, these are just more extenders. This one says special summon Mud Dragon. This one says summon rare fish. They're both level 4 water monsters, and then you can just Xyz with those 2. Then I run the 1 Cosmic Cyclone because my locals, they do play Scythe a lot, and you will lose the Scythe because you can't use your extra deck, so this is just kind of a counter to it. 1 Call by the Grave because you do lose the hand traps a little bit. Hand traps do hurt, so why not use 1 Call by the Grave. 1 Pot of Desires. I was running this at 3, but then Konami limited it, so you're kind of stuck with 1 now. But since there's a bunch of 3-ofs in the monsters, you should always have at least like something, and this kind of extends your hand because there's no draw power in this deck, so this is the only card that lets you draw cards. So 1 Pot of Desires. 1 Monster Reborn, kind of the same effect as White Mirror, just get another body on board. Keep going from there. And then the Dark Ruler, you can take this out if you want, but Again, just in case you lose the die roll and go second, you can still actually play the game by negating the whole board. So, 1 Dark Ruler. And then for the traps, I run triple infinite impermanence. I like impermanence a little more than Ash because it's not a hard once per turn, and it negates spells and traps as well on the set column. So that's why I run 3 infinite impermanence. Again, you can take this for any hand trap you want, but I like impermanence. And then for the last 3 traps is Goes and Match. So I'll explain how this actually works later on in my extra deck, but basically each player can only control 1 attribute of monster. So all your monsters are water, so that doesn't really hurt you at all. So that doesn't hurt you, but it hurts your opponent a lot, especially with the extra deck coming up. I'll show you. So that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. For the extra deck, you run 3 Bahamut Sharks because he's really good. He just summons out the 3 Toads. Toad is really overpowered. The more you read this card, the more disgusted I am by it because it's so overpowered. I don't know what Konami was thinking when they printed this card, but once per turn Omni Negate can take their card and set it to your field, and then can add a water monster from graveyard to hand. So it's really good. Bahamut Shark basically just 2 level 4 water monsters, detach, special summon Toad. And it's not a hard one per turn either, so you can special summon multiple Sharks and get multiple Toads on board. And then here, 2 Stealth Kraken and 1 Kraken Spawn. So this combos off with the Goes and Match really well because Stealth Kraken says all face-up monsters on the field become water. But as soon as your opponent special summons or summons a monster, it becomes water. You can flip Goes and Match, and now they're locked into water monsters for the rest of it, as long as this card stays up. So it's a good little water lock because not many people play water monsters, so this is really good. Plus, Stealth Kraken is a non-targeting destruction. You can destroy 1 water monster your opponent controls and inflict burn damage equal to half. Then if it's destroyed, it summons Spawn. Spawn is kind of the same effect. You can destroy 1 water monster your opponent controls, but it doesn't make every monster become water. So he's kind of less situational, but if he's destroyed, he brings back the Stealth Kraken from the graveyard. So they kind of just loop each other back and forth. That's why I run this. Then you run the Utopic F-Zero, Draco Future. So these, since you summon multiple Bahamut Sharks, you can just like use their effects, detach 1 and 1. Let's say you have 2 of them, you have 2 Toads, 2 Sharks. You can just overlay the 2 Sharks to Utopic Future, and then Draco. So now you have 2 or 3 Toads plus Draco, which is quite a bit to get over for most decks. And then since you're playing an Xyz deck, you have to run Zeus. Really good card. I don't see why you wouldn't run it. And then Drill Driver Vespanado. Again, this is just kind of an extender play, because you can overlay it on top of Bahamut Shark, and he will have one material. Place him. Now he has 2 materials, and that'll make your Xyz more alive because you can detach 2 materials. So say you have this guy, you detach 2, special summon this guy, and the 2 materials you just detach, special summon both, and then get you another rank 4. So that's why I run Vespanado. And then for the last 2 cards, Mud Dragon of the Swamp for the instant fusion, and then Rare Fish for the instant fusion, and Ready Fusion. These are just more extended. This guy's an extender, just a level 4 water fish, so why not? This guy's actually kind of really good because your opponent cannot target this card or monsters on the field with the same attribute as this card with card effects. So they can't target water monsters you control with card effects as long as he's on the field. And then since he's level 4, you can just overlay it as well. But yeah, that's basically it. Again, I kind of sped through the deck profile. There's not much to talk about. It's more about the extra deck really than it is the main deck. Because the main goal is to summon as much Toad as possible. Maybe get a Draco on it. If not, you can also sit on the Stealth Kraken block with the Goes and Match. And that alone will still be enough to win the duel. So yeah, I'll probably have some test hands coming soon, but I just wanted to show you guys the deck profile real quick of my Sharks. Pretty good. I haven't really top locals yet, but I feel like if I actually tried hard enough, I could actually top locals. But for now, I'm kind of focused on other decks, so again, more deck profiles coming soon, more pack openings. Stay tuned for all that. Sharks out.